right with you. Don't worry, you're not in the frame or anything. Asia's just feeding the cats. What do you mean something went wrong? Oh, jeez. Oh, we got music here. Nice. All right. Now I just got to do a quick sound check to make sure this is actually working. Now live on your channel. That's my channel. My channel. You're in my channel now. I'm gonna stand like this lest we get Asia in the frame. Oh, what's wrong? I think we're good now. All right. Good evening. Good evening, everybody. I got a lot of cameras going right now. This is hella distracting for a person of my attention span. So, yeah, you can lower the whole thing, really. Actually, I'll lower the whole thing. I got control of the volume. This is my channel. There we go. How's that? All right. Once again, the goal is always to not disturb Asia too much. I'm just telling everybody that the goal is to never disturb you. That's a hard goal. We always go by that. Yeah, go for it. Could you sound check me while you're in? Thanks. All right, now I gotta load this on YouTube to make sure that I have an active chat going. Can I do this from OBS? I don't even know. Holy shit. No, I gotta do this from YouTube. Gotta do this from the YouTube. All right, 1 second. Let me get my own damn stream open. Because if I just, I can pop out the chat, I think. If you're talking to me, I actually don't know yet. Because I haven't popped out the chat. Ooh. Okay, 1 second. Not using an ad blocker. Allow... Yeah, sure, I'll allow your ads. God damn. What? 1 second. 1 second. I think I see you in the background there, Cole, but I need to disable my ad blocker because it's being a little bitch right now. Try that. Yeah, sure, I'll allow your ads. Oh God. Don't want to feedback my volume. Are we good over there? Oh no, that was me feeding back, not you. Sorry. Okay, I think I can pop this chat out now. Now if I close this window, is it destroyed? Say something to me that is current, Cole. That is current. Say something fresh and funky to me so that I can verify. Oh, this chat totally isn't working. Corey, are you there? Cole, are you there? Oh, God. How do I get this chat working? Sorry about the technical difficulties. I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert at anything I do. Just doing it live. There we go. Now at least I can see myself in real time. Positive ions. I don't know how current that message was. So, you had to refresh. Everybody had to refresh. I had to fucking refresh. All right, but I think we're in business here. So I'm just gonna, I'm gonna replace my YouTube window with my OBS window. Is there a way to get this chat in OBS? Because that would be much preferable. But I'm just gonna do it like this because that's in real time. So, yeah, good evening. So I've brought, what do I how do I introduce this? I brought a whole bunch of tools and a whole bunch of batteries, a whole bunch of disposable vaporizers, mostly, that I've collected from cannabis shops. There, move that camera a little bit there. So I brought a ton of those. Oh God, is that leaking? Oh geez, that smells awful. All right, give me a second here. Oh, that's just water. Oh yeah, that's just noodle water. It's not noodle water, it's rice water. We cooked rice over there. So now I've just dipped these vapes in that rice water. But I brought a ton of them. To take apart. I got cannabis vapes. I got nicotine vapes on the floor. I'm here to answer questions about recycling batteries, about taking apart disposable vapes, about disposable vapes in general, about the environmental impact, you name it. I love it. I love being asked questions, and I will answer them to the best of my ability always. But yeah, I figure what we're gonna do here is just take apart some shit. Clicky clacky battery. Oh God. Oh, I forgot my my speakers right in the MacBook. I'm sure that's probably awful on your ears. Sorry about that. I'll try and pick these up really gently. And put those back there. And I'll put these over here so that we're not making too much noise. I really should have just properly mic'd this whole installation here. But yeah, so we're gonna take apart some batteries, and I've also got oh man, some old Shikishi board paintings that I haven't finished. So we'll do that in the meantime. If we got people coming and going who want to see or hear things again. And I've just got I've got stuff everywhere here. I got chargers. I got pumps and wacky 510 repurposed inventions. I'll put that down gently. Oh jeez. So that if anybody who has not been initiated into the bad vape family, an ASMR thing. Oh no, you're being way too charitable there. I know how it sounds on the other end. It's vile. Anyway, yeah, I've got oh geez, let's see here, some 18650s strapped in series so that we can do some crazy things with 12 volts if we want to. We can turn on this air pump with it. We can blast some 510 with the air pump into a tube. We can do all kinds of things. I got a voltmeter here so that we can read some voltages on batteries. Oh, I should have brought the oscilloscope. All right, well, we'll take something apart first, just for fun. Just for fun, because that's what we came for. So we'll start with something easy here. What do we got? Oh, there's all kinds of crap in here. Alright, so here. We got a few of the easy ones going on here. So the easy level are going to be just like these simple circular sticks that you get here. Not so much on the 4A and Oxley. They're a whole different story. Can we get his... No? You don't want to focus on that? Fine. Alright. Yeah, they're made of really tough metal, but we'll just grab a couple oddballs out from here and see how far we can get on these, because these tend to be constructed much the same way. I wonder if I can get a good zoom on this here. 1 second. Let's try narrow. Oh yeah, there we go. So what do we got here? We got a Hexo train wreck. We got something from Spinach. I don't even know what that is. That looks like cheap crap. Tweed. This is an oddball for sure. I don't know what's going on here. It looks like it's got an air intake at the top here. It's totally sealed off at the bottom here. Make sure. Maybe I can make myself a little smaller here. Woohoo! Doing it all in real time. We got, what's this, a Dom pen. Oh yeah, these are always a little bit of a hassle to get through, so this will be fun. And then we have Madge and Mercer. I don't know a fucking thing about this LP, Madge and Mercer, but they popped up with their disposables, and it seems to be their only product, just the disposables. So I'm not too big on the Madden Mercer, but I'm going to show you the tools of the trade. Tools of the trade are very rudimentary. Very. So we got, what is this? What do you call this? A pipe cutter? This is a miniature pipe cutter. I believe this is for copper piping, actually, like the kind that you install sinks with, like hot water. So the idea with a pipe cutter is that you apply gradual force with the screw on the... here, I'll put this on my fingers to demonstrate here. So you can screw it together, and then it gets nice and... Oh, yeah, that feels... That's kinky. So, and then it's got this little thing that is really actually not that sharp. It's not going to cut my finger, but it's basically like a little a pizza cutter blade, just like you're slicing a pie. And then you just probably shouldn't do that around my finger. Could you imagine? I just fully cut my finger off live on video. That would be the most awesome live video ever. But yeah, you just you turn it when it's nice and tightened, and then you'll notice that it kind of compresses the tube a little bit. But it's, this blunt pizza cutter is actually enough to go through it with force. And then you just tighten the pizza cutter a little more, and you just keep going. You just keep flipping around. Here, I'll show you. It's easy. We got Imagine Mercer. Let's start with this, just because who knows what they're working with. So normally on a disposable vape, usually components, this looks like a suction in order to activate type. So basically you got somebody who's they're gonna suck through here, and then usually the suction sensor's tucked somewhere at the bottom here, and the battery is taking up most of the design, like around that much. So I like to just start with the bottom to see what they're working with here. It looks like we've almost got a pop-up cap. So always look for things that look like they can just pop off easily, especially with some pliers or a razor blade. One second, gonna grab some pliers here. What do we got for pliers? You know what? Maybe these hemostat forceps will do. Let's see if we can just pry this little piece off, because it's always easier. Oh yeah, there we go. See that? Always easier to just start popping things off to see what things look like. And there we go. So just as anticipated, we have the suction sensor at the bottom here. They usually just kind of tuck this at the bottom because there's an airflow intake, and that's what activates this. I might even be able to yeah, there we go. All right, I'm gonna hold this in the frame here, and I'm gonna blow on it. So you can see this one's still got some juice in it because it's a disposable. It was never recharged once, so that battery is still perfectly active, and that suction sensor alive and well. Now we can't just yank this out of here. I mean, we could. I do that all the time. Yeah, sometimes... Oh, I should be keeping attention to the chat here. Sometimes they do hide a charge port. And sometimes, sometimes, Corey, you're right. They do actually, like there's a charge port right on the board that they have put the cap right over top of, just because it's meant to be a disposable, but they all use the same parts. That's the thing. The difference between the disposable and a rechargeable is just that you get less in the disposable, and pay the same amount as you would for a rechargeable 510. So I've just been. This is a really terrible construction. They've just kind of crammed it all together. Like, I could have probably almost reused this, because I think that right there is the cannabis oil. That's the gold. But I don't want to make a mess here, so I'm just going to see if I can pop that right out by grabbing it by this little tube in the center and just giving it a wiggle. Just to see if we have any... Nope, okay. Any movement? Oh, there we go. Oh my god, look at how full that thing is. That is... Oh, People are so wasteful. Gosh. Look at the, I cannot stress enough. This is a nearly full disposable pen. I didn't even. It's almost a shame to just let it go like this. They've got it all. Maybe I'll save that for later, because it looks like, okay, so here now I can kind of detail the design of this a little bit. So we've got the sensor down at the bottom. I'll use something to point at it here. What can I use? I'll just use the hemostats. There we go. So that is that suction sensor that I was blowing on. You can see if I blow on it here. There we go. It's hard to look at the camera while I'm doing this. And then this whole silver part right here, that is the lithium ion battery. And that's the juice right there. You can always tell what they look like. They're always wrapped in this silver, and they've got yellow Captain tape. And then it looks like the electronics of this are. I'll go back to pointing with this. So we've got the sensor that activates. So the battery is actually running into the sensor, and then the sensor is what basically gates the power up to this part right here, which has the coil. And if this looks familiar, like if this looks like a 510 cartridge that has just been attached to a battery, then you would be correct, because that is precisely the design that you're paying for and then throwing in the trash. And if you're watching the chat like I am right now, probably was clogging. You're right, Corey. Or oh wait, that was Cole. My bad. Sorry, that was Cole. Everything okay over there? Just charger's falling? Okay. Alright, we good. But yeah, this was probably clogging. They probably thought it was empty. Maybe, I don't know. They threw it out because it was completely full and it wasn't working. And we have probably what is a battery that has barely been used at all by the looks of it. So, gosh, what do I even do? This is like a perfect piece. You rarely get them this nice, to be honest, where it's just completely full. So I'm just going to snip the tank right off here. They've even heat shrunk it, which is really quite courteous for a disposable. I'll just do one little snip here. When you're snipping these, good thing to note is to only snip one at a time. Only snip one wire at a time. And the reason for that is because these are pliers. Well, Rod's here. Hello, Rod. Do not disturb Asia. You know the rules. You know the rules. That means there will be no explosives tonight. No explosives. That's the Asia guarantee. But yeah, and in order to guarantee no explosions, the way you should be treating these is cutting one wire at a time, because your pliers are made of metal. Metal is a conductor. These batteries have a very high power density. That's what makes them so useful. They have incredibly high power density. That's what makes them great for storing solar power at a mass scale, which is something we're going to need to do a little bit in the coming years, if you know what I'm saying. But anyway, moral of that story is you don't want to blow yourself up, so you cut one at a time. There we go. That's how we do that moderately safely. At least safe enough to not worry our long-term committed partners with whom we cohabitate. So it's important to not create fires in your home. So there's that. And here's the tank, which, God, I'm gonna be honest. I'm probably going to just put this on my weed, because you can set this on fire, and I'm told that fire makes things sterile. So I'm gonna set this aside. Although it's wide open, I should probably put this little rubber thingy back on it. Ooh, it's gooey. Ooh. Ooh. But this is what I'm here for. So, close up, we got the two wires that have been snipped. Is this focus not working? God damn it. God damn it. Give me some autofocus. No? Zoom in and out. I don't know how this software works. I'm not going to spend too much time with it. Rod, are you just like catching up with the whole stream? It seems like your whole feed may be catching up by a little bit, but we'll get you eventually. Anyway, so the two wires here that we got, there's always one in black. That's always going to be your negative terminal. And then this one here, sometimes they're red, sometimes they're blue. It doesn't really matter. They'll always put the negative terminal in black. The reason this one is blue and not red, which if you're familiar with electronics conventions, you'll know that black and red are usually the color. Here, you can see them a little bit better there. So you've got a red wire there and a black wire as well as a blue wire. And so the red wire usually denotes the one that's going directly from the battery. So that's like your hot wire. That's the full current of the battery going in that red wire. But you see it's running up to the sensor here, which even though I've disconnected the tank, I can still do this. There we go. And then I would not suggest licking them. I mean, at least not from the red wire. You could probably pull it off from the blue wire, and it would only tickle, maybe tickle a little too much. But the blue wire is coming from the sensor, and that's because the red wire sends the full power of the battery in there, and this kind of mediates it using a pulse width modulation. Pulse width modulation, the magic of square waves, which my oscilloscope is just upstairs, so if anybody wants to see pulse width modulation in action, just say so and I'll grab my oscilloscope. But yeah, if I were blowing on this and then had this hooked up to my oscilloscope, what you would see is a square wave that basically looks like a... Well, grab a piece of paper here. I can do better than paper. So I got this thingy. If this works. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So, pulse width modulation. The voltage control that you see on one of these vapes, or some of these vapes, you'll see like a little screw on the end of them. That is the quote-unquote voltage control. The reason I say quote unquote is because there is no voltage modulation going on. You have, let's say you have 0 volts, big old 0 right there. So that's the negative terminal. That's the negative of your battery. And then at the top of this graph, let's say you have I'm not even joking, 4.20 volts, 420 volts. That's the nominal voltage of a fully charged lithium battery. Not kidding. I'm not kidding. That's your positive. All right. So what you're expecting when you see voltage control... Damn this glare, eh? That doesn't work. But yeah, so what you're expecting is like, let's say 2 volts is right here in the middle. So you're expecting, as you change the voltage, that you'd have this nice smooth curve type of thing, but it's nothing like that. It only goes 0 and 4.2. And the way it adjusts the voltage is by turning it on and off really, really quickly. So you end up with 0 and then 4.2. And then it goes back down to 0 and then back up to 4.2. And through this rapid turning on and off, that's how you get basically an averaging out of these peaks and these valleys right here. So let's say it's on for 70% of the time, then you're going to get 70% of 4.2 volts as your nominal voltage. And so if you change these peaks so that they're just these itty bitty little slivers in the middle here, and it's off for most of the time, so let's say we just inverted that, then that's the percentage that you would get of that 4.2. So, you know, if you were just turning it on for a tiny little peak like that, and a tiny little peak like that, that's basically your lowest voltage setting. And then your highest voltage setting is basically just on all the time. Maybe just like a tiny, tiny little valley, because it's never perfect. But that's pulse width modulation. You're just modulating the width of each pulse. And then the coil of the vaporizer is what actually averages out the voltage. And that is, that's a property of inductors. I'm not going to go into that too much. That's electronics theory. But basically the coil that heats the liquid is in there, is what does the averaging of those pulses, and essentially works out to be a voltage control. It's just electronics trickery. It's just tricks. Speaking of which, so here is a Yokan Kodo Pro. It's a pretty fancy little device, to be honest. It's got like an OLED display on it here, but you can see it's got this voltage control where I can change to different voltages that are available via the battery. It'll go up to probably, yep, 4.2. There we go. See? I'm not lying. 4.2. That's the nominal voltage. And then basically, so if I were to bring this down to 2.1, that's half. That's a half pulse width. So it's not actually at 2.1 volts right now. And if I were to grab my, you know what? I'm just gonna grab my oscilloscope. But that's probably gonna take a battery. Oh, jeez. You know what? No, I can't get distracted here. I can't get distracted because we got shit to do. Roderick, what aren't you a fan of? What aren't you a fan of, Rod? Are you not a fan of this channel? You're not a fan of me? That's okay. I could be a real pain in the ass. Yeah, that feels like about 2.1 volts. It all works out in the end. So, now we have a metal tube. That's metal, so we can recycle this. That's just probably steel or aluminum. Got a little plastic doohickey. That's useless trash. So this is the good part. I tend to usually snip the sensors off, keep the batteries separate, but I'll do that later because we got other stuff to go through here. What's next? This Hexo train wreck. Is my Pico Chan cup over there? Yeah? Okay. Be right back. I'm just gonna grab it. You okay over here? We're doing good. I don't think we're annoying her yet. Alright. We'll try and do multiple things at once here. Are we having fun yet? Sorry, that was probably really loud. Okay, so same idea with this one right here. So we got an air intake probably at the top here, probably sensor at the bottom. This, again, looks like a quick, cheap pop off. Let's just grab the hemostats. See if I can get this bottom off without too much fight back. Oh yeah, that's coming. It doesn't really matter if you make a mess of the tube, because that's just recycling. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Oh, okay, one second. Thumb's stuck in there. So they've actually tucked the airflow sensor right into this little piece here. So I think this is going to be pretty much exactly the same model that we just dealt with. Almost exactly the same right down to the T, because it's got this little plastic piece at the top here. I'm pretty sure I can pop. Ooh, this is getting messy. Let's just see if I can pop that off cleanly. There we go. There's that rubber piece that we got from the last one. Yeah, this is exactly the same model if I'm not mistaken. So I should be able to grab that. And we're going to see how much is left in this unit too, because inevitably there's always stuff left in them. Oh, I should have left that in. Alright, I'm going to yank the whole thing out here. Nope. No, this one's got a little bit more glue holding the whole design together. All right, we're gonna bring out the pipe cutter. So, I'm estimating by the size of this tank and the previous one that we're gonna be well off, probably cutting it right about there. That's what I think. So we're gonna screw this in. I'll get that nice and tight and then show you here. Let's see, yeah, that looks about right. Okay, so that has the pizza cutter applied to it with some nice pressure, and it's got these two wheels to hold it in place, so you just get it nice and snug there, and then give it one solid twist, two solid twists, maybe three, and then you may notice that it's kind of starting to cause this depression here. That's perfect. That's about when you give it one little tiny more tighten there, and then you just kind of give it a little bit more rotation, and you'll notice that the more you rotate it, you can kind of use thermodynamics to your advantage here, where you're just basically creating heat. There we go. With speed, energy, and motion. Look at that. That's a nice solid cut, and that's right where we wanted it. Look at that. Beautiful. So there's the two wires that have not been disturbed whatsoever by our cut, and that is because the tank is precisely the same as the design in the previous one, which, as you'll remember, is a Madge Immerser. This is a Hexo. I don't know if there's any relation between the two companies, probably not. And that is because there's no difference between these units. It's just the 510 units. It's just the 510 units, but you can't reuse them. So, where did my pliers go? There we go. So we're just going to detach the tank again, once again, remembering to cut one wire at a time, because we don't know how much power is left in this battery. These things are beasts. Oh yeah, look at that, look at that. You can see right here, they've even got the same black wire wrap. I don't know if you can see that little piece of black sticking right out there. But that's the same black wire wrap. So this is almost certainly the same unit. I guess I did check the chat. This is way more quick than I did the CBE. Well, okay, so like I do want to qualify that like I've done this 1,000 times at this point. And also some of them are a lot easier than others. You know, you kind of get used to which designs you see frequently. Woohoo! Some more treasure. So yeah, don't take my speed at face value here. I bet these are the same let me check the serial number on these. Not quite. We got a 1.28 watt hour and a 1.33 watt hour. Ooh, just a couple ticks over on that one there. So those are almost identical. Got another tube. Get rid of here. So those are both recyclable. One tank, and where'd the other tank go? Whatever's in there is probably not worth its weight in big shit. If we're being honest, it's Hexo. So we'll set that aside for now. I should probably put these batteries somewhere safer. 1 second. Set these aside here. Okay, we're doing good here. Any questions so far? Take a quick breather while I take a look at this chat here. No questions so far. Maybe I'll just chat for a second about environmental impacts, because yeah, so lithium batteries. These are the running candidates for all of our power storage requirements. for the coming years. And that's not just lithium ion batteries. So for solar panels, we'd be using lithium iron phosphate. And then there's all these other like all of them are using lithium as their base. I'm watching sodium ion very closely. Don't get me wrong here, I am watching them closely, but I have watched new battery technologies that get touted as revolutionary and just kind of fizzle out so many times. You know, I'm a little jaded about batteries right now because it always ends up being lithium, and I feel like we're really just holding on to this idea that, you know, we're gonna somehow manage to bamboozle a way around lithium, and it's just, even if we can manage to do that, I don't think we're gonna manage to do it in the next 10 years to the point of commercial viability and having them in everybody's homes, and, you know, in electric vehicles, in, you know, running our power grid and stuff. That, like, lithium at this point is it's tested, it's industry tested, and the reason I'm trying to save it is because we're running out of it and we need it badly. Because even if sodium ion pans out, even if the other revolutionary batteries pan out, and we somehow manage to get that up and running, it's going to be, you know, a good solid decade before they really take root, which is what happened with lithium ion batteries. So, you know, every time there's new technology, we need new time for customer adoption. Cobalt-free batteries? Oh, I think sodium ion might be cobalt-free. See, that's another thing. When you're throwing these batteries into landfills, you're just tossing heavy metals into the earth, and we love heavy metals. We all know from the 80s how our Gen X parents turned out when we just put heavy metals in the air. Sorry, that was a bad joke. Our Gen X parents are wonderful. They just have fucking lead poisoning. And they were being poisoned without their consent by people who knew that they were being poisoned. Alright? Just like manufacturers will continue to sell these disposable pens, these disposable vapes, for as long as they make money, even though they know it's our lithium supplies are running out. It's leaching heavy metals into our soil, into our water. They're mined with lithium is mined with child slave labor. They don't give a shit. All right, they don't see the child slaves. They see the dollars from their disposable pens. So anyway, speaking of which, this one's giving me some trouble. This is a Dom pen. I've been ranting while I pick at these tops, but this one I don't think is coming off too easy, so we're just gonna go straight to the pipe cutter, because I started to get edgy with it. Oh, I didn't notice that was a question from Normal Human. Hello, I'm so happy that you were able to join us. I thought that was Corey for a second, just because the avatars are so tiny, but yeah, I'm delighted that you were able to join us. Cobalt-free batteries. Yeah, there's a lot of, I don't know. I have problems with these battery technologies that are touted as replacements. Like even for lithium, cobalt, those formulations, most of them do take cobalt, and so I suspect there are going to be probably, I want to say at least a decade before we let's see here. See the child. Yeah. Oh gosh. You get it. Yeah, that makes me sad. But yeah, you understand exactly what I'm saying. They see it. They see it, but they go to great lengths not to. So what we're doing right now, Normal Human, I don't know when you joined, I'm using a pipe cutter, so this is usually a plumbing implement that is used for brass pipes, I believe, for hot water mains and stuff, and they just have this little screw nubby here, and what looks like a dull pizza cutter right in this section here, and these are wonderful because you can just pop them right onto basically any metal tube, whether it's copper, steel, aluminum, and with enough force, most metals will just go. Human greed makes me physically ill. Yeah, me too. But I'm not convinced that that's just our nature. It's something that capitalism certainly brings out of us, but I have yet to see a society that doesn't just encourage greed. You know, I'm not convinced that if our entire arrangement of living were not based on capital, maybe greed would not be the dominant way of life. We just don't know because we've had capital since what, like just not prehistoric, but we haven't written down. There's been currency exchange for as long as human history, and that, like, people get so hung up on currency exchange as just like, well, if it's been around for the entirety of human history, then it must be that there's no other way. It's just like, can you be any more boring? Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. Capitalism is just so boring. God. Anyway, so this did the job. We got the pipe cutter. It did have a little nubby on the top that just popped off, but tank is still attached. So once again, same design. One snip, two snip. You always want to snip one wire at a time. Normal human, since you just joined, I will repeat this part. When you're cutting a battery from a tank, you always want to snip one wire at a time, because your tools are made of metal. That is a conductor, so if you happen to snip two connections at once that shorts a battery, you could end up heating your tools up quite a bit. It will heat metal. It does some pretty interesting things to metal. I should show that on video sometime. There we go. Let's see here. You know what I need? I need something in this cup. Peiko's mad that the cup is empty. So, I'm gonna do something about that in a second. I wonder if I can... I'm gonna try something really weird here. I'm gonna get experimental because I feel like Cole would be proud of me if I got experimental with OBS on the fly. What if I video capture device with my phone? Is that even possible? We're about to find out. Oh. Okay, now if I turn... Oh, God. Shit's about to get real. Alright. One moment here. Y'all. Oh, this is absolutely absurd shit. So many of me. This is way too many of me. Okay, I'm gonna make that smaller. Woo! Are you enjoying this, Cole? Oh, this is really funny for me. All right. That means I can just like make that a little bit bigger. This is the walking cam now. You asleep over there? You asleep over there? Oh. Hey? Yeah. Just one more glass. This is... Ooh. Okay. That's it. You all done with the mix over there? Did you finish that can? Yeah. Okay. So. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're back. How do I turn this off now? That was stressful. Can we delete this? There we go. Okay, we're good. Back to business now. We don't have that in Nova Scotia. What don't you have in Nova Scotia? Oh, wait, are you referring to the the grain alcohol? We don't have that in Ontario, actually. That's from Alberta. Where they really know their alcohol. There we go. Okay, so the trick with that is to just like mix it extremely weak, because it's basically just, well, it's twice the concentration of a traditional spirit, so you just have to mix it twice as not twice as strong, twice as weak. And then it basically just tastes like a rum and coke, but without any rum. Like, it's not even like a vodka and coke. It has zero flavor. It's just it's basically just a mixed drink at a standard mixed drink alcohol concentration, but it only tastes like the mix, and it's got some burn from the alcohol, obviously. Okay. So now, okay, yeah, you were talking about Everclear. Yeah, we don't sell this either. Why not? Perfectly safe. I used it for tinctures once. Alright, so next thing on the list here, we've got this tweed pen. This looks a little weirder. This looks a little weirder than what we had before. Can we twist it off? It almost looks twistable. No? Okay. I have a feeling there's some special trick to this, so I'm going to try the hemostats again. Oh, I can't even get them in there. I bet you this is the same fucking design. I would be willing to bet that it's just the same damn design in a plastic case. Was the pipe cutter? Okay, we're about to see if the pipe cutter is even going to work on this. So it's got a funky shape, and it's also got a flat side, so I can't even really get a tight hold on it. Let's see if we can just pop the damn thing right off with the pipe cutter. Because it's plastic. I just... Oh! It's like it's cracking here. We got Revenge of the Kraken. Okay. Yeah, it wants to come off here. I wonder if we got this pink thing off. Let's grab the razor blade. This is where things get fun. Because I want to see where the seam in the plastic is. Sometimes you gotta explore these a little bit. Oh, there we go. That's all I wanted. Just to get that pink thing off of there. Get cracking. Get cracking. I like that. Oh yeah, it wants to come just popping right off the top there, I think. If I had some pliers, that would be easier. Let's see if we can grab the bottom off. I find sometimes with these, you just gotta try them from a few angles. And if the first one doesn't work, usually a combination of multiple traumatic fractures to the case is enough to get something apart. And then you can at least get a better look of it from the inside. Oh, this is a real fun unit. Alright, I'm about to go nuclear. Oh, we're just gonna wiggle it. Oh! I got some movement in there. Shave away from the fingers. Then I can't get any good control over it. Alright, I need some pliers or something. Oh, I think those are upstairs. I wonder if... we're just gonna try this. I just need something to grip it with. Oh, we got some movement. I bet if I were to just cut it right around here, that might release something. Here goes nothing. It's this divot. Makes it really difficult because it's just an oblong shape. There we go. Maybe if I just hold it against this mat and roll it around like this. Oh, that's a tough one. Oh, I feel some movement. Tighten that back up again. Good old plastic. Just more stuff for the landfills. Yeah, no, heat gun, I wouldn't recommend a heat gun. These batteries will blow. Okay. Oh, there we go. I think they just glued it straight in or something. And okay, so let's talk about recyclers now. See, one of the catch-22s here is recyclers just won't touch these things for exactly the reason that you're seeing right here. Most of them will just, you know, if they don't go to special facilities, they'll end up in landfills. And if they do go to special facilities, sometimes the batteries will get collected, but the lithium will not be recycled. Oh no, they'll be going for the cobalt and the nickel and the other minerals that are easier to recollect from the batteries, but lithium extraction from used batteries is actually a fairly costly process. They don't tell you that because they're not doing lithium reclamation. They are doing cobalt, nickel, things that they can profit off of. Oh, geez, that's a tough one. And then the lithium just kind of ends up in the landfill where it would have ended up in the beginning. Oh, maybe if we just wiggle it like this. Oh yeah. What a little bugger. I got the bottom off. So there's the sensor. It's just another one of these blow sensors. That one's definitely dead. That's probably been around since legalization 1.0. Oh. Okay, I need to give my hands a break on that one. Let's grab another from the bag here, because I see a lot of these Sherbinskis here, and this looks like a pretty serious model. Look at this thing; it's so. People just leave these full. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. That's a full tank right there. This looks difficult. Let's try our usual tricks on it. Got the pipe cutter. Tighten her up. Oh yeah. That's got nothing on us. Just give it a spin. And then once that loosens up, we should be able to see a little bit more what this tank looks like. They've got this thick layer of orange paint on it, which really doesn't make the cutting process any easier. They never want to make this easy on you, though. And then after we're done this one, we can just talk about batteries for a little bit, and I can kind of show you around what you might be able to do with them. Okay, we're getting through now. It looks like this tank might have been a little bit deeper than I thought. I haven't actually cracked one of these open yet, and it's definitely got a thicker design. But on the inside, they're all fundamentally the same. It's just a different construction of materials that you throw away after one use. Oh, we're almost through on that one. There we go. I'll just give it a crack. Woohoo! Like a party popper. Okay. Oh, we got a couple of nice pieces here. I can almost see... Oh, yeah, there's the coil. I just yanked the coil right out of it. Oops. And then it's probably got this little piece that I don't understand at the bottom. Sometimes they actually connect a wire directly to this piece, and it makes no sense. Yep, there it is. Look at that. I don't know what that wire does. It's connected to this little metal nubby at the bottom. Like, literally, not actually connected to anything. It's just a nubby that has external connection. Like, it's touchable from the outside, and there's a wire connected to it. Literally don't know what it does. Never been clear on that. Give it a yank. Here we go. And I just ripped the nubby right off. There's that white wire. Like, I don't know if they just want to put it somewhere safe, so they just attach it. It makes no sense to me. But there's our battery. There's the tank. Looks like I've already decimated one of the wires. I'm just gonna give that a little old snip. And then maybe blow on this. Nope, that's dead. That's probably been in that bin for a while. So there's a nice battery. Bring over the other ones we've gotten so far. These two. As you can see, they're all the same. And this is what you'll find in a 510 vaporizer as well. This is nothing unique. Do a disposable pen. Exactly the same, like these little suction sensors that you find in the disposables. Those are the ones that are in the 510 vaporizers that don't have the buttons attached to them. I'm going to say the button here. There we go. So here's a 510 battery. And that's got a button attached to it. It's dead, obviously, but that's got 510 screw in end, and here, I brought some 510 cartridges. These Dunn cartridges. Oh, okay, there's a funny story. I think a while ago there was a recall or something on some Dunn cartridges that, I don't know, it was like the coil caused batteries to die or something like that, but anyway, one of the battery bins that I raided in a store, that they let me do this. I didn't just go in and raid their batteries, obviously, but yeah, one of the things that the store had to get rid of was this giant batch of full Dunn cartridges. Most of them work. They literally just had to destroy them due to Health Canada regulations. So yeah, I ended up with a big surplus of these. I'm just gonna pop one of these on this little Yokan battery, which I was showing you earlier. Because most of them seem to, like I said, they work great. Just literally perfect live resin. This is the kind of stuff that gets thrown out under capitalism. Just thrown in the garbage. Full tanks. And this orange Stravinsky's. We got this probably god-awful Madge and Mercer Hexo. 3 batteries. So what can you do with these batteries? Well, I tend to repurpose them a lot. We got okay, so this is something that I don't know, there's probably one of these boards right in here. So this stick with the button here, this actually needs to have a little control board, and that's what these look like. I've pulled some of these control boards out and repurposed them into these little magnetic Lego pieces type. So there's like a 510 connector head. There is one of these button modules with the voltage control attached to it. So a lot of these just kind of come with fully functional vaporizer boards just stacked inside of them, and you can pop the batteries off and still use the boards for other things if you attach batteries to them. Clearly plenty of batteries to go around. Let's see what this one looks like on the inside. I might be able to show you one of these circuit control boards. just pop this top off. Yep, there we go. Okay. That was easy, and you can already see we got the battery in the bottom there. But this is where it gets a little trickier because we got this nice 510 end on the top here that we could probably reuse for something. But also the controller board sitting right here behind the button. So I'm going to try and cut it right in between there to see if we can get both of them intact. Let me know if my music's too loud, by the way. I think my computer battery's going to run out soon, so we better do this quick. Is it just you left, Corey? Probably. Nobody ever has any questions except you. All right. This one's about to crack. I can feel it. A little too fast. Oops. There we go. Let's see what we got here. Perfect cut. That was a perfect cut. So there we go. There's the 510 end. Cole's just silently watching. Okay, fine. Fine. You don't have to talk. So that's a nice cut. That was basically right in between the button and the 510 end. The reason I like this cut is because it leaves the wires attached to the 510 connector, which means I don't need to resolder those to reuse this single part. It's already got all that magic attached to it. And then it's got this plastic, the clear plastic housing that sits in between it, and that actually holds the circuit board as well as the button in there. Oh, I love you too, Cole. Ask about ideas for the reclaimed batteries. Oh, okay. Well, then I will hop into that right afterwards. There's lots of things you can do with these. I mean, these are pretty much the standard battery that is used in all rechargeable items that aren't going outside. So, like for you know, those little solar lights that you put in gardens and stuff, those are using nickel cadmium batteries usually because you don't want to use explosive batteries where the temperature is going to be constantly fluctuating. That's just bad news. Okay, I need to get this little bugger out of here. Need to get a good grip on that. Oh, there we go. One piece. I don't know if you can see in there. There's the button assembly. Usually the button is actually the only thing holding the damn thing in. And if you just pop it all the way out. Oh yeah, you can see the button's already kind of starting to shift a little bit. I bet if I were to just... Yeah, there we go. Aha! Treasure. Hey, hey, hey. So, there we go. So there is the little piece of plastic that holds the controller board, and there's the controller. Look at that. That's that one chip pretty much. Just does all the PWM. I've got a MOSFET there. That's for just switching the large amounts of battery current. And if I just slide this, how do I do this? Does it slide this way? I think it slides out the bottom? Top? No? Oh yeah, there we go. Slides out the top. Ta-da! And there's the button. And a little plastic housing. But if you want to see what the button actually looks like, it's just this little tiny thing. There you go. That's just a standard circuit board mounted button, and it's the same button on, like, if you got a $70 vape, that button is exactly the same. It's just, you know, they've usually got like a little steel cover over it or something. Stole a jack from another device. Illegal bandwidth. That's another episode. Anyway, that's a very useful controller board, and I won't fiddle on this one yet, actually, because I've got another one set aside here. Where is it? Now that we're on to what you can do with these. Okay, so here is a controller board that I picked out because it was actually one of the better ones that I found. So you'll find different models, I guess, models of these little controller boards. So here's one of them. They all kind of look the same. Where's the one we just pulled out? Here it is. All right. So here's here's 4 different controller boards. Here's the one we just pulled out right here. Here's one that I've attached a bunch of extra little wires to, which you'll see why in a second. And here's the little magnetic Lego pieces. So here's one of those controller boards in the Lego piece that I've just slapped onto another controller board. You can do whatever you want with these little fuckers. But I grabbed this one out because some of these are actually the same controller board that you'll find in, oh gosh, I can't even remember the name of the device. But it was like one of those, gosh, I think it was either $70 or $90, but like one of those really fancy 510 vaporizers with like the wood metal body. Everybody was raving about it, and that was the one that I picked up just to see what was going on with it. And it's pretty much just this, I'll see if I can get a close-up on this, the RS board. I don't know if you can see that. Little logo there, but this is one of the nicer boards that you'll find in a 510 vaporizer. So I ripped this one out, and I put I put a connector onto the end of it so I could switch out the batteries. So this is one thing you can do with them, just as a kind of a starting point. So, you know, we'll go back to the one that we had here. So you can see that the fundamental design has the battery going to the control board with its positive and negative wires, which are the red and black ones there. So black is negative, red is positive. And so usually what I do with these is I start by just desoldering the battery from the control board. Can I zoom in with this? 1 second here. Let's see if I can get a little bit of a better view of this. Oh, I think we're onto something here. There we go. That's looking better. Yeah, so usually what I'm going to do is very, very, very carefully desolder these 2 points. And the reason I say very carefully is the same reason as the pliers, which is that your soldering iron is made of metal, which is a conductor. So you don't want to cross these 2, or you could end up with more heat than you bargained for. But yeah, detaching those, first order of business, because then you can throw your own battery connector onto them, which I've done here. This is using a slim profile JST connector, commonly used for drones, I want to say. I just like them because they're really slim and pretty high current, because they need to be for drones. So yeah, I switch out the battery for a connector so that I can switch out the battery for whatever I want. It has to be another lithium battery, obviously. And then you can just actually kind of reverse engineer the rest of the board to kind of attach other things to it. So here I've resoldered this red wire. This is where it would usually go out to the disposable cartridge, but this is going to eventually go to a 510 connector. And this is what these look like. I mean, this is a little bit of a wacky invention, but there's a 510 connector that I've run into a little pump, actually. And this is a pump that draws air in through this open valve here and pushes it out through the second valve that's connected to the 510 end here. And so the idea with this, I demoed this with Asia the other night. I promise it does work, but it took a lot of hands to get this going. So I'll see what I can do here. Basically, you got a 510 cartridge. Oh, I'm never gonna live it down if I don't do this demo. So let's do this. Just gonna move a few things aside here. So we've got Got a nice 510 cartridge plugged in there, which is also attached to my battery connector input. And I've just, the reason this is so dodgy right now is because I've got my ground connections just kind of flying, so I kind of have to hold things at once and then touch them to this piece here to get the whole contraption going. Okay, I need a battery that I've put this connection onto. Let's do, that is a 5 volt, okay. Okay, I need to go grab the battery back. Okay, we're good. I'm back. So here's a couple of 18650s. They're pulled from a larger vape unit and have wired up with my standard connector and this little extra connector actually, which is great for telling it the voltage. Because I've got this little thing right here. Let's take a look at what we're reading for that. So here's just a standard voltmeter so that I can plug this into here and see what we got. 4.05. We're still doing good. We're still doing great. So now, oh gosh, there's too much going on here. Okay, I need to move a few things around or else I'm going to create a catastrophe here. Okay, so let's get these all arranged nicely. I should probably put this on a black surface so that it's easier to see. So I'll just move that like that. Unplug this. It's an old Pistol in Paris cartridge. My test cartridge. So, this is the pump running up. 510 cartridge. I'm just going to plug the battery in ad hoc. Nothing is actually touching right now. And that's fine. So I got these two black wires here. So let me just make sure I got, this is the pump. There we go. So that activates the pump, which is blowing air out of here. But this is also attached to the 510. So if I do them both at once, I should be able to get a little bit of poof here. You ready? Ha! Woohoo! And that is where you get to start having some fun like this. Ready? Woohoo! I don't know if Rod is still watching, but these are pieces of device that I had lined up for you. That's good stuff. Now I should check this chat. Hey. What do you think? Oh, excuse me. Yeah, assisted draw is one way you could put it. Frankly, the way I envisioned this is having it actually fill up the whole chamber. I've got like larger pieces of like flasks and stuff, and that's what this whole setup is all about here. So this is actually a full suction pump. Let me zoom this camera out a little bit so we can get the full scene again. Yeah, so this is going to be the mini handheld version. But then the larger version, I'll plug this so I don't break anything. The larger version would use this, like, I'm pretty sure this is actually like a pressurized pump that could create PSI if I wanted to. But that goes into a triple pack. This is actually 3 18650 batteries, lithium batteries from large vapes that have been wired in series to create a total of 12 volts. And that is so that it could run this, which is quite a bit heftier. Awesome! And yeah, so the idea with that would be, 1 second. That is what this would be all about. This is a piece in progress, a grand pièce de résistance, I suppose you could say. But yeah, this pump actually goes right on the back. It's got that plate there, so that attaches there, and then runs through a hole in there. We've got the on-off switch for momentary and permanent. But that would, excuse me, that would run with a hose. Where's my hose? We got all kinds of hosing going through here, and so that would go on there, push air up through there, and there is a 510 connector right there. And that's where you just grab that cartridge there, do a quick, I don't know if I can do, see this piece is still undergoing some technical difficulties, but you put your cartridge there, activate your pump, and basically this would be pushing air into here, right here, and filling this. Uh-oh, my MacBook's about to die. We gotta finish this stream up soon. I forgot to bring my charger over here, but we'll have to do probably another session on devices that you can do. Like, it's batteries. They just hold power. You can do anything with batteries that you can do with batteries. That's that's the thing. You just got to be careful what you're doing with lithium batteries because they explode. They are highly reactive chemicals. So don't go putting them in fires. Don't go puncturing them. Here's some safety tips. You don't want to cut these. You don't want to poke these. You don't want to bend them. You basically just want to leave them exactly like this, or else they will hurt you. Well, I mean, hopefully not. But they're very hurty. They kind of go and blow steam and sparks. It's bad. It's bad. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so that is an introduction to cracking disposable vapes open to get the batteries out of them. This is what they look like. And then next time, we're going to take a really solid look at what you can do with this crap, because holy hell, there's a lot of it. So we need to find something to do with it. I hope you have enjoyed this session of nonsense. I really should have just grabbed my charger, but we're now at 9:19. Hey, we did pretty good. 1 hour and 20 minutes. All right. It's been swell. Thanks for chatting with me, Cole. I hope you're out there somewhere. And Rod, I don't know if you're still watching. Oh yeah, a normal human. It's been a pleasure. I hope we can chat more about this. Be sure to join on the next session when we start turning this into some useful shit. And then maybe we can sell it to rich people and then save the world using their money. All right. Master plan. Have a good night, and I will hopefully be able to figure out how to end this stream on OBS. There we go. I found the button.